got it. Yeah, Katie got it.
Hi everyone, my name is Stella Henry. Compliments of the season and happy new month. I'm just here tonight to glorify God for a little child of many years ago who lost his sight mysteriously and the Lord restored his sight. And today that child has graduated high school. Many years ago in the country of Nigeria, this little child was born. And at the age of 4 months, he visited a place called Bonny Island in Rivers State. On arrival, the landlady of that building came and served us plantain and fish. And after washing my hands, trying to start eating, I heard a voice that said, "Don't touch," and the food was discarded. That same night, after my midnight prayers, the moment I started sleeping, I started having a dream. This woman came into the house through a tiny crack of the wall of that house. She came into our house and we began to fight. When the fight became intense, she transformed herself into a bottle, a green bottle. And then, just like a tennis ball, the bottle bounced on the ground and bounced all the way up to the fan on the ceiling. There, the glass broke into pieces. It came with thousands of pieces of glass. And the idea was for the glasses to now injure me. But by the grace of God, not even a piece fell on my body. And this woman quickly zoomed out of the house through that same tiny crack on the wall. The next morning in the real day, the woman came knocking on our door and she was rendering insults on me for not coming out to greet people and to participate in some cleanup. It was on a Saturday, and I was apologizing, like, "I am so sorry, mother. I didn't even know anything about it." Yeah, she was cursing me, and I knew where the cursing was coming from. And I said, "Okay, so you were really the one that came to fight me last night? We're gonna see." The next night again, she had visited. She still came in through the crack of that same wall, and another fight ensued. It was intense. She zoomed out of the house. So we did it for a couple of days. I had washed the child's clothes and went to spread them outside. By the time I went out to go pick them, everything was on the floor because she had cut the wire. She was attacking me. She was just fighting me physically everywhere. And then physically, I was being peaceful. But every time she had come to visit in the night, it had been terrible for her. So this fateful day in the dream, she had invited me to come and see her at the back of the house. When I went at the back of the house, all of a sudden it was a river, but just a little one. So she was in the middle of it and she was inviting me to come in. So I was a bit skeptical, but yes, I went in. By the time I got in there, I figured that the only half part of her body that I was seeing from the stomach up was body. Everything from the stomach down was fish. So as I got in the water, she attacked me and we began to fight. We fought and fought and fought, but there was a time she gave me a very big push and I staggered. And then at that point, the blood of Jesus Christ came out of my mouth. And I'm telling you, the blood of Jesus has some quality power in it, and that's if he's screaming with power. When I screamed the blood of Jesus, even after I stopped, it was echoing. It was echoing. And with the echo of the blood of Jesus, this woman was shaking. She began to stagger like somebody that was drunk. And then, all of a sudden, the water began to dry. Right in my eyes, everything dried up. The moment the water dried up, the fish part of her body began to suffer. At that point, she was about to die. And then she was now calling me for help. "Please help me. Please, I am sorry. Please." So she was apologizing. I said, "But you are an enemy. You want me to save you so you can kill me." So let me fast forward to where physically this little child that I am the steward. became blind in a broad daylight. This is a little boy who was, crawling around everywhere. He became blind. He couldn't see anymore. And then it was very frustrating for him and he was just crying. So he was quickly rushed to nearby hospitals and diagnosis showed that nothing was wrong with him medically, that he was perfectly okay. So, prayers commenced immediately, fasting, oh my goodness. It was intense. Everything was intense. So after praying and fasting for 3 days and 3 nights, I decided to go back to Umuahia where I came from, where his grandparents were. And then getting there, we closed our prayers there. And all of a sudden, the moment we did the closing prayer, this child opened, cried. He was crying. And guess what? His tears were not water, his tears were blood, which we cleaned, we wiped with tissue, a white tissue. And then he threw up. He started vomiting and he threw up a roach. My goodness, it was yak, but yes, he vomited a roach. And the moment these two things happened, he regained his sight. And that was the end of the story. I don't want to go back to the witch because she lost everything she got. Time came when her own children started dying and she was burying her children. Her children did not bury her. Her old age was nothing to write home about. Life was so crazy. She ended up losing her only son. But she's not the subject matter of my story tonight. The subject matter of my story is that little child that was 4 months and started suffering wickedness of the earth.
King David Ugochukwu Henry.
There was a certain babysitter who came to live in the house just to help to run little errands. Another witch has just joined the house. In the dream, I discovered that his clothes were leaving his room. The next morning, I decided to conduct a search. And then right there, I figured that another witch was in the house. While I was conducting a search, I also recovered a couple of materials that I did not buy. Torchlight and some things. I think a dry snake, and I can't remember some of those things. And yes, this boy was another witch in the house. And then he had taken my son's clothes. God saved him from that one. It was another longer story, but that's not my position tonight. My position tonight is to thank God that that little man who started suffering the attack of the wickedness of this earth, God has been protecting him, and he has just graduated high school.
Ugochukwu Henry.
Another little girl was brought into the home to help with little errands. Another witch just arrived. Another agent of darkness just arrived. Just one night, I heard a loud sound in the night, and I heard sound of plates, like breakable plates. When breakable plates are falling from somewhere, they were falling and breaking. And then I got up and began to pray. I looked around everywhere, nothing fell down, nothing broke. So after prayers, I went back to sleep. So when you see something, just pray about it. I had a dream one morning. I saw an attack coming on the boy. For the first time, I called the babysitter. I said, look, I just had a bad dream. And I won't be able to take this child to school. School is just across the road. So you take the child to school so I can pray. And I think I was giving information to the wrong person. I didn't know she was actually the one that was going to attack the child. She had attended their meeting in the night and a bottle was given to him. liquid something was given to him, which she saved in the gutter outside. So the moment I handed this child over to her, she went out and fed the child. Apparently, the boy may have refused to drink it. This was a boy that has never been introduced to sink water. Has never been introduced to sink water. This girl went outside and fed that boy with rubbish. It took her forever before she came. By the time she finally came home, search was conducted and it was discovered that yes, she has actually carried people's clothes to that place. I remember asking her, have you ever taken my clothes to that place? And then she said yes, but they rejected it. I took your black dress. We went into prayers. Every midnight, it was as if the boy was unconscious. And we kept asking her whether the boy attended their meeting. It was not easy. After the 3 days of fasting and prayers, on the third day, the boy screamed. And I had asked this girl, how do you guys operate? Like, if you want to attend the meeting, what do you turn into to go for your meeting? And she told me that she was turning into a pussycat. And then, funny enough, this little boy didn't have that information. Of course, he was a little child. And shocked me to the marrow of, on the third day of the prayers and fasting, this little boy began to scream, oh my God, see fire. See fire on that dining table. See fire on the dining table. It's burning all the pussycat. The pussycat is running out. The pussycat just ran out of the window. And then that was how he got himself. That was the end of it. After that, the Lord catapulted him out of...
Congratulations, baby, on your graduation. Congratulations.
Our Father in heaven said He has put a table before us in the presence of our enemies. In life, I've come to realize that everybody just needs to shake body. We can't sit one place because everybody came into this world with at least one gift, with something. Everybody is a steward of somebody. And if you are a steward of somebody, just know that a lot of people are dying where they're waiting for you. Have you started releasing the songs? Have you started doing those things that you're supposed to do? Have you started doing the prayers? There are some things you are supposed to be doing. And people who are connected to that glory, they are all waiting. Some of them are dying. Imagine me as a steward and the caretaker of that child. If I was not able to stand up, that child was not going to be able to help himself. He would have been blind forever. He would have stayed blind. But mercy said no. Mercy said no. Mercy said no. Mercy said no. We will serve a living God. Everybody, prayers. Don't joke with prayers. There's power in the blood.
King David Ugochukwu Henry.
you